Hey, this is Adrienne from Always Home Yoga, the Yoga Save Me podcast, and I am going live. I think this is just my second time going live, and I wanted to do a day in the life of. I am a mindfulness activist, the author of Wellness on the Weekly. Add a team name to call your members. Okay. So let's add a team name to call our members. My name is Adrienne. I am a mindfulness activist with Always Home Yoga. I am the author of Wellness on the Weekly. That's what we're going to call our team members, Wellness on the Weekly. And I am, okay. Oh, okay, you can only have 10 letters. Okay, so I'm gonna have oh, that's hard. What do you like to call? Oh, what do you want to call your team members? Oh, okay. Let's see if I Okay, wait a second. Got it. Okay, I got my name. So, hi there. I've got a team. Build a team, add a team name. I did a team. Okay, so I can get off of that. So, this is kind of like a walk the walk. I'm walking the walk, not just talking the talk type of live. So, I had a fantastic day, an exciting day, a day that I manifested. And we'll talk about that as well. And it's also a day that I was just on a live from, I think her name is Dr. Lisa. And she does a live to educate people about doing lives. So I said I'm going to do a live. So check out my hair. I got my hair done. Got my hair did. What's today? Monday. So I guess I got it done Thursday. Unique Beauty and Solar Salon in Silver Spring. Look her up. She's a sister, and she only takes one person at a time in her space. And, this is the third time I went to her. She told me how to take care of it. And in the 3 times that I've been, it's so good. She was like, oh my gosh, your hair's grown so much around the hairline. I'm going to do a post about it. I came to yoga again with a fury when my dad died in 2021. Our 95-year-old World War II war hero, like our king was dead. Our family was just, 4-member nuclear family, our little unit. We were just devastated when we lost Daddy. And I was so grieving so badly, I literally pulled all my hair out around here. It was like Bozo the Clown. So I prayed for that to come back. I used all different kind of hair oil. Got I used, what's it called, Hers? The hair vitamin with Moxidil. I swear by it, it works. So, okay, I've gone 3 times to Unique Beauty for my hair, and probably at least 4 months in between. I don't know. Anyway, she said she's seen such a difference, and I saw it when I washed my hair for this one, that I saw such a difference with my hair growth. But anyway, we're here for this live because I wanted to share just a day in the life of a mindfulness activist, because I want to walk the walk. I want to make sure, I'm a yoga teacher. I have cut down the number of classes that I teach online because it's a lot. I was teaching 7 classes a week. That's not ideal. So now I just do my 2 with Veterans Yoga Project Wednesdays. VeteransYogaProject.org. If you're a veteran, anybody in the military family, a first responder, a caregiver, you can take live online mindful resilience led classes. So meditation, all kinds of yoga. So let me just tell you, 4 days a week at least, there is a 9 a.m. class. I teach the 9 a.m. breathwork and gentle yoga class on Fridays. And there is a 7 a.m. class. 9 a.m. Eastern time. There is a 7 a.m. Eastern time class on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I don't know the Saturday and Sunday. I know there's an 8:30 a.m. Eastern time class for women, beginning yoga class for women, taught by my soror, Moore. It's a fantastic class. She's funny, down to earth. It's a safe space. It's a fantastic class. And in the evenings, every evening, 7 days a week, there is at least one Yoga Nidra class. And Yoga Nidra has been scientifically proven. Look up Dr. Richard Miller. Why does it look like I have a black eye? I can remove my glasses now. Dr. Richard Miller, he's done research and worked with the Veterans Administration, actually Veterans Yoga Project. We partner with the VA to provide classes free of charge in person in a lot of locations in a lot of cities around the U.S. But online, you can access them globally. I teach normally from Sweden. I have a colleague that teaches from Germany. And Yoga Nidra has been scientifically proven to help people with PTS. We put the D in parentheses because we don't believe it's a disorder. Part of my mindful resilience training. Yoga Nidra has been scientifically proven to help people with PTS get rest, if not full-blown sleep. And okay, this is telling me to do something. Of course, I take my glasses off. Okay, where are they on my head? I can't see what it's telling me. It's telling me to swipe. Anyway, thank you for coming to my live and helping me learn how to use a live. This is only my second live, I believe, on TikTok. Oh, yeah. I did one on February 14th. I proclaimed World Love Day. So let's do it again. February 14th, 2026. You heard it here first, right? I did my live for that. And that was fine. But I took a live class. There's a creator here, Dr. Karen. I shared her live, so hopefully you can see it. And she's educating us on how to do lives. And one thing I learned, my lives need to be at least 26 minutes. Oh, okay. So, yeah. Adrienne, Always Home Yoga, self-proclaimed mindfulness activist. I'm trying to get this to show you. Okay, let me get my glasses. And I'm coming to you live from my sauna bag. This is my Walk the Walk Daily Life episode. Can you see? So my sauna bag from Hydrogun. So you slip into, I don't know why they make you buy it separately, but maybe you already have a cotton liner that would perfectly fit your sauna bag. It zips on the side. You see it zips on the side all the way down so you can open it up. Infrared. I've got a silk pillow under, but it's black, and then I realized I didn't have enough contrast for my hair, so I'm gonna something else soft. And oops, goodness. Okay. You know what? Maybe the next time I do a live, I'll use my selfie stick. That's a lesson. Any tips you have for? I'm starting to sweat now. This sauna bag. Okay, this is right. I forgot, short attention span. This is what I wanted to show you. So this is the control. So I have it at 140 degrees, and it's set. It was you can set it up for 60 minutes, but I had the timer at 44 when I started, and I said, okay, if I can do a live for this entire time, I will get my minimum of 26 minutes. So we've got 34 minutes to go. So this is starting to bring the heat, which is the purpose of the sauna bag. Let me tell you, this is a Hydrogun sauna bag. I have it on my shop on wellnessontheweekly.com in my little shop. I only have things there that I absolutely love. Because like I say, I want to just share things that I love, but it sat in a box for probably 2-3 years. I just never took it out of the box. Daddy was dying. Mommy just died at the end of this 2024. So that's when I finally broke out the sauna bag. I broke it out in 2025, and I love it. Absolutely love it. So I highly recommend it. I get in the sauna bag as often as possible. Now I can tell you this, it does tell you to take off your jewelry and metal stuff. So I've never had my arms all the way in because I just have not taken my jewelry off, and I don't want to not follow instructions. So I imagine that I would get really, really hot. But I find that I can. This is a way. Okay, if I'm listening to Yoga Nidra and I'm in my sauna bag, I'm out in 10 minutes for Yoga Nidra anyway. So combine it with the sauna bag. I haven't. But also, even if I don't do Yoga Nidra and I'm watching something on my tablet or on the TV, this will put me to sleep, and I will wake up. And if the beep doesn't wake me up from the timer, excuse me, I'll wake up later. And it is so wonderful. And then I'll just slip into my, night clothes and go to bed. So it's a wonderful way to calm down. I've got a horrible back. I'm so lucky that I'm functional, but I have chronic lower back pain, and and the reason for that is how I first discovered yoga. And part of I didn't want to get raped for a third time in my life. I've been raped twice in my life. Once when I was 16, the second time in my late 20s. So I'm in my 30s. I'm in the, excuse me, in the suburb of Paris with a group of people, go to the bathroom, come back, everybody's gone but me. So I tried to leave and couldn't get out, right? Because the door was locked and the guy wasn't going to let me out. And then when he went for the belt on my pants, I knew I was in for it. So we had a fist fight. I don't know if you can see, but I have a scar from where he beat me. And this was like swollen like an egg. I don't know if you can see it, but anyway, because I had stitches. Anyway, I went out that window. That's a story for another live. You know what? And I would invite, maybe we will do it during Women's History Month. We can share our sexual trauma stories. It's not my shame. It's my claim of victory, because I went toe-to-toe with that mofo and ended up going out a four-story window, and my back is F-E-C-K-E-D. So I discovered a chiropractor, and he told me to, once I got back to, the U.S., told me to recommend a yoga. I don't know if I remember if that's how it is or I just started yoga myself, but somehow I feel like he recommended yoga to me. Or I don't know. I found yoga, and I will tell you, it was at the St. Mark's Yoga Center on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. It's still there. It is separate from the church. So that they have a separate space for this yoga center. This was in 1996 that I discovered it. I can't say that it was new then, so it's still around now, because I know during the pandemic they had classes you can take online. I took some of those online. I have not been back to the place. I did look on the website to see if my teacher, the first teacher I ever had, I love her. I cannot think of her name, but I can picture her. So I would have recognized her if her picture was on the website. It's still being there. Didn't expect it, right, to be there, but I wouldn't be surprised, because yoga is a practice that you can do until you stop breathing, and breathing is the core essence of it. So by that I just mean your physical ability has nothing to do with practicing yoga. So I wouldn't have been surprised if she was still. I would have been, let me tell you this, delighted and thrilled if she was still teaching, and I would have gone back in person and hugged her and tell her how she changed my life. Because what she gave for me, I went there with a horrible back. I didn't realize, I wasn't even thinking about the PTS or anything else. It was just that I could hardly walk, and I needed that. But at the end of every one of her yoga classes, and what we generally think of as yoga are the practices, the movements that we do. We refer to that as asanas, depending on how you pronounce it, A-S-A-N-A. That's one move, so plural, the asanas that we do. So at the end of the movement practice, I can't remember what we did at the beginning of the practice. I can tell you how my practice is with my mindful resilience training that I learned with Veterans Yoga Project. They have a Teachers Alliance. Yoga teachers, if you have any affinity for with or for the military, we would love to have you join our Veterans Yoga Teacher Alliance. You do have to take the mindful resilience training. And if you're a healthcare practitioner or a therapist, that training is also open to you. It's scientifically proven. Go to Veterans Yoga, scientifically proven to help people with PTS. Go to veteransyogaproject.org for more information. They'll have it up top. So for information for where you can get free online classes, again, on Wednesdays, 6:30 a.m. Did I say that? 6:30 a.m. on Wednesdays, 6:30 a.m. Eastern. On Wednesdays, I lead a guided meditation. It's 20 minutes. And then on Fridays, 9 a.m. Eastern, I lead breathwork and gentle yoga. See, I'm distracted because because I don't have my glasses on and I can't see, and things are happening, and I'm trying to remember what I learned from my live. So I think I'm supposed to ask you, yes, I don't know if I have the ability to get a daily heart somewhere up there, or if you can join my team. I named it Tribe 2 because Tribe was taken. I didn't even think about Tribe 1, but I figured Tribe 2 because you've got your tribe, like, your tribe for like people you've known forever, whether that's your family or people you went to school with or your neighbors, like people who've known you forever. That's how I'm defining my tribe. Let me know how you define your tribe. And then Tribe 2 is us here, right? Because I am a mindfulness activist. I'm the author of Wellness on the Weekly, 52 Fun Prompts for Mindfulness, Movement, and a Whole Lot Less Stress. I wrote the book. It was published in November 6th or something, 7th, don't quote me on the date, of 2024. And my mom died on December 28th of 2024 at age 94. My beloved mother, love my mother, my beloved, brilliant PhD ethnomusicologist mother. Love my mother. We were so close, even though me and my sister adored her. We adored my dad, loved on my dad. So, me and my sister are like gutted. But so the dedication to my book is written to my mother. It's my love letter to my mother. So I manifested that in time to get it, put it in her hands, let her read it. I have a video for that I took and saved to have forever. I have to make sure I have that forever, that it's on a hard drive, to make sure that it's on a hard drive, not just in the cloud. You have to make sure I have that video. I manifested that. That's probably the most important thing that I manifested in my life. My mom, I had the type of mom. I don't know. You can let me know if you have the type of mom. What was your mom always getting on you about? Not getting on you about, but encouraging you to do. Like my mom's like, when you're going to write your book? When you're going to get your PhD? When you're going to write your book? When you get your PhD? So when my mom was 94, just until December 28th, she was 94. She would have been 95 on February 26th this year. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be able to get that PhD before mom has to leave us, but I can write that book, and I dedicated it to her, so I manifested that. That is my greatest achievement, and I have a goal of 1 million people reading that book, so that 1 million people can read my love letter to my mother, Dr. Lavinia George, PhD ethnomusicologist. So that's my goal. Help me reach my goal. Tell people about my book. It's available on digital format, paperback, and hardback. So today I'm doing the live today because I had a fantastic day. Okay, today is a story about another manifestation. Okay, I'm going to tell you. Okay, I really think it's 4 things that I manifested in my life when maybe more, but let's say in modern era, or at least that I can, probably more. And that's the thing about life. We're not always in tune with what's going on around us. But I can say my partner, my husband, my Swede. We won't even give the backstory about why I needed to manifest a partner, but I did write it down on a sticky note, on a yellow sticky note, all the characteristics that I wanted in a husband, in a man. I didn't say husband because I had been married before, so I wasn't thinking husband, but just, partner. I don't know if I use the term partner, probably man. Maybe even boyfriend. I don't know what term I would have used because that was 20 years ago that I did this exercise. And we're still together. Just had an anniversary this month. So, and I put the physical, so I put the hard and soft qualities. I put tall, good looking, generous, loves family. I put all the values, loves to travel, funny, smart, educated, kind, everything like that. I didn't say perfect, maybe, but I put everything that I thought was perfect for me because who's perfect, right? I probably should have can put up with me. Add that to your list, and can put up with you, exactly who loves you exactly as you are. I didn't say that. I know I didn't because I didn't have enough enlightenment to say that. But that's what I would put. That would be the number one thing I would put on my list if I'm manifesting anything. So, I have to remember that. That just came to me. Thank you for this live. Thank you for helping me manifest that. But if I'm looking for a partner, business partner, clients, because I work one-on-one with clients. So I think I told you not to jump around. But I was teaching 7 classes 2 are always with Veterans Yoga Project online. 2 are with another platform, which I recommend, Self-Care. Hey, Christina from Self-Care with Getaway. Love it. They have a mission to have free healthcare for millions. Now, I can't remember the year, but I love her mission. Solely love her mission, and I look forward to partnering with Christina from Getaway on the Self-Care platform. I've done a meditation that was a part of a retreat that they had. She plugged me in live. I happened to be in Chicago that day. I was there for the Democratic National Convention. I was a delegate with Democrats Abroad. So she plugged me in. I was visiting my aunt. Chicago's my second home. I spent all my summers there with my grandmother. It was my mother's birthplace. So I was in Chicago for the Democratic National Convention. So, of course, I spent a few nights pre-convention with my aunt. And so I was able to plug it in. So just to say that I love my... I take every opportunity I can to share a mindfulness practice. So she asked me if I could share a meditation. And I was like, it doesn't matter if I'm with my aunt in Chicago. I can leave them talking in the kitchen, my aunt and my cousins, for 20 minutes. And that's what I did. I don't even know if they knew I was gone. I just told them, don't disturb me or come and join me. One or the other. Right? So where was I? I can't exactly remember, but I am coming to you live from my sauna bag. Because my name is Adrienne. I'm a mindfulness activist with Always Home Yoga. I was telling you about my rape story, though, how I survived that, my back, how I first came to yoga. Yes, now I remember. And the yoga teacher that I loved that introduced me to yoga at St. Mark's Yoga Studio in Washington, D.C., which is still there, by the way. And their prices are very democratic, affordable, accessible. So at the end of her yoga practice, the asanas, the movement, which most of us associate with yoga, she would put us into a rest. Now, I don't know. I think she must have built in at least 10 minutes because or 20 minutes. And so I looking back now with what I know now, post my yoga teacher training, I'm a 200-hour certified yoga teacher. I have an additional over 300 yoga teacher hours with different certifications, including yin yoga, subtle bodies, yoga for grief, yoga for anxiety, yoga nidra, restorative yoga. It's in my, go to alwayshomeyoga.com. It's either there or it's on my author page, adriennelin.com. But check this out. I'm enrolled officially for my 300-hour. So officially, so I can have my 500. So after that, I'll have over 800 hours. And not to say that I'm not going for 20,000. And you know why? Because I'm selfish. Everything I do for me. Every one of those certifications. Oh, trauma. Did I say trauma-informed yoga? For me, I'm the one that went off, out the window for stories. Pulled out all my hair around here when Daddy died in 2021. I'm so grateful that it grew back. Y'all, my hair grew back. You can still see I have some problems with some of my hairline, but that's growing in. Now listen, my hairdresser, Good Unique Beauty in Silver Spring, said that's coming back in. Now, before I get too much off track, remind me to come back to the hairline. But so the yoga nidra, so that at the end of the practices, with St. Mark's Yoga, the first time I ever took yoga, and I think I got like a 30-day pass. You could take as many classes as you want. And it was like $50. This was 1996, though. Accessible. It's still accessible. I don't know if they can match those prices now in 2025. I got a great offer for you, though, as far as free and accessible. Go to my Yoga Save Me podcast. Free meditation on there and free practices. And now that Spotify is doing whatever their thing, if you are listening or viewing on Spotify, you can see the video for the practices. So that's a new feature for 2025 for me. So I want it to be free and accessible. Right, but it's my yoga business. So I work one-on-one with clients. That's paid. I did a workshop at a high school for girls for a special program. I was brought in by a nonprofit that's running this amazing program. I was just in for one night. They're running this long, amazing program. I got an honorarium for them for that. I get paid to do wellness practices and programs for remote teams. I specialize and exclusively work with 100% remote teams. Why? Because in 2004, I became a remote worker, and I have been one ever since. I was living and working in Brussels, Belgium, with ZN. Go to zn.com. I don't know if it's zn.be. That was 2004, right? But I was working with them. They had I love it, multicultural team. I was the American. The owner was part Belgian, part English, co-owner. The other co-owner was Belgian. My colleagues were German, Christopher. We became such good friends. We're family now. I am the godmother to the second of his 4 children. His wife is Danish. I just love them. My girl, Medita. Hey, Medita. She is 17 now. And she was doing a semester in Maine. And I got to see her. I got to see her in January. She came down to see me in my hometown. And she was the balm on my soul. I needed on my heart. Because like I said, Mommy had died at December 28th. So she came January 10th. I remember it. So then we had Antonio. He was the Spaniard. Natalie, the French woman. And we bought in Roland. Roland is a Netherlander. Roland is from the Netherlands. And we had a very small office at Plax Luxembourg in Brussels. We were a boutique. They are still a boutique, but bigger than when I worked there. Fantastic. We were an e-boutique agency, cutting edge back then, right? 2004. I think I may have started working for them in 2003, but 2004 is when I became a remote worker. When we brought in an intern, and it was going to be temporary. They asked for a volunteer to give up their desk so Roland could get broken in. My hand went up naturally. I was like, no problem. First of all, to make space for him to come in. And second of all, I live walking distance from where I worked. I just came in for the meetings, and I could meet anybody I wanted for lunch, but make space for the other person. And little did I know that I was never going back to an office, not full time. Now I can see here now, I don't have on light. My forehead is always shiny. But you can see I have to see the clip. But this morning, another reason I wanted to do this live, like a day of, and to like walk the walk and to talk about manifestation. So, I manifested the book, Wellness on the Weekly. 52 Fun Prompts for Mindfulness Movement and a Whole Lot Less Stress. It was published in early November. I was able to get it in my mother's hands. It is dedicated to her. It's a love letter to her. And she died on December 28th. So I am so grateful that I manifested that. She was always like, when you're going to write your book, when you get your PhD. I still have the mom who believed that I could do anything and everything and wanted it all for me. She was my biggest cheerleader, my biggest critic though, but not a bully. So when I say my biggest critic, she was like, you can do better, do that better. This is how you could have done that better. Do you think you could have done that better? She was not a yes woman. Oh, that was great. But when it was great, she was like, it was great. And she always supported me and cheered me on and let me know that it was never as bad as I thought it was. So I love my mom. I miss my mom. So this is International Women's Month. So shout out to all the women out there, to all the moms, grandmas, aunts. I had fantastic grandmothers, and I have a wonderful aunt. And a wonderful aunt I married still with us, Aunt Vi, my mother's sister, and Aunt Marion, my Uncle Bryant's former wife. But happy International Women's Month. We're telling stories about resilience and manifestation, so I manifested that book. But something wonderful happened to me. Another thing was wonderful that I manifested that book, right? But this morning I was on Good Day DC, Channel 5, the Fox 5 local affiliate, Good Day DC, Channel 5, DC being for Washington, DC. And I was on to talk about managing stress during stressful times, because roughly 1 in 5 working age or and employed people in the district work for the federal government. So the cutbacks in firings have been really hard on our community. My first husband, the only thing I kept from that first marriage is his god sister. I call her my cousin Debbie. Her parents and my former husband's parents, who I still hear from, we don't hate each other. Her older brother and my former husband, who retired as a full colonel in the United States Marine Corps, hoorah, devil dog. You brought me into a whole nother world. That's one reason I volunteered with Veterans Yoga Project, right? Those 9 years I spent with you, the sacrifices that I saw you make, you and your colleagues, the sacrifice that the military families made. Okay, I'm all teary and stuff now. This wasn't supposed to be a cry fest, but talking about mommy, it's okay. We can always cry when we talk about our mommies, and it's okay. We have grief. Another thing I specialize in is yoga for grief, because I can fast forward. That's how I found Veterans Yoga Project. One of my sorors, and she's my mentor. She's the one, she teaches a Sunday class, 8:30 a.m. for women. Yoga for Women is a beginning yoga class for women on Veterans Yoga Project. It's free and online. Go to veteransyogaproject.org. She, I don't know. Yeah, because when I pledged my sorority, I did that in 2020 as a legacy to my mother and my sister. I wanted us to be even closer together, if you can imagine. Because as I say, Daddy died in 2021. Not that I had the foresight, but I knew things were only going to get harder and not easier. So I wanted us to be even closer, so I joined the sorority. And when I did that, the time I did it, it was when a new administration was coming in my sorority, and then they build up their committees and leaders. And so I volunteered. My interest was to be on the Military Initiatives Ad Hoc Committee, right? My dad was a veteran. My Swedish Swedish military, right? I'm over in Sweden. We're in the pandemic 2020, so it was perfect. I could be in this online community of sorors around the world that were in the military family. So that was great for me. So I met this soror. She's former Air Force. And she told me about her yoga class on Sundays, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, with Veterans Yoga Project for Women. It's a wonderful, safe space. We have been in that space where we didn't even do yoga. Somebody had a crisis. And we just talked and held space for each other. So, and believe it or not, how things work, there's been one time when it was just me and her in that class, and I needed her to hold space for me. But it's rare now that you would go, and it's only her in class, her and I in class. That was years ago when that happened. Her class is so popular now, and it's just become such a fun place. So I highly recommend Veterans Yoga Project. First responders, veterans, active duty, your family, caregivers. You're welcome to take the free classes. In some locations in the States, you'll be able to take them in person as well, maybe at some VA centers or other yoga studios that support Veterans Yoga Project. If you're a yoga teacher, I invite you to, you believe in trauma-informed yoga and you want to support this community that I mentioned, veterans and active duty, first responders and caregivers, I invite you to, or if you're a therapist and you work with veterans, I invite you to take the mindful resilience training that they offer. You can also get information for that on Veterans Yoga Project. Okay, let's look at our timer because I'm coming to you from the sauna bag. It is working. Okay, I have 8 minutes left. It's at 136 is the temperature, and it says I have 7 minutes. I said I would talk until it goes off. Now I'll tell you, I will restart it, but it doesn't mean I'm going to keep going on the live. But, so, okay, I'm going to get back on. Okay, so what I manifested today. Yes, that's where we are, and that's why, okay, what we manifested today and then what happened today, and that's why I couldn't wait to get home and get into my yoga bag. my sauna bag. A lot happened. You know, it's so funny. At one point, my sister came in, and one day she said, "Is that a sleeping bag? Are you in a sleeping bag?" Like, she's wondering, "Are you sleeping on the floor? Like, what's wrong with the bed?" I was like, "A sauna bag." She was like, "Oh," like she understood exactly what that was. I don't know, but I think she was just glad to know that it was something and not. I'm not sleeping on the floor because I do love my bed. So today I manifested that appearance on Fox 5, Good Day DC, DC in Washington, DC. I was on at 9:15. Cannot wait to get the clip. I have to get the clip. So I'm in this Black authors group on Facebook. There are tons of them. I'm in too many groups and I'm not active enough. But this time something popped up for me, and it was a graphic, and it showed some news anchors, and it was for another city, and it was like, we're looking for stories or something to that effect. And it was like, ding, where's the little light bulb? Ding. I was like, oh my gosh, contact the local news. Here you are in DC. Federal employees are on the chopping block. They're stressed. You know, people this happened to, right? My cousin, like I said, that I inherited from my first marriage. I have a colleague, people I grew up in the church, hasn't happened to them, but they're worried about people in their office. And then you hear friends of friends, you know, and you know it's real. Because I'm in enough groups where people are like, I lost my. I was even, you know, I've talked to people, Republicans, one woman outside of the hotel at the National Harbor when I was there for the Democratic National Committee meeting that just happened what was that, January? One person, but she was there as a volleyball team mom. Her girl was on the team, so she was outside in the out front, and I was with a colleague, and she's like, "What are you here for? Why are you all here?" And we were like, Democrat. She's like, okay, whatever. And we were like, "What are you here for?" She's like, "Volleyball." So, you're talking like 20 minutes. Life of a volleyball mom is expensive. You travel around, the season's short, the uniforms, the travel, the hotels, the food, blah, 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 blah. So we're walking back in. And she's like, "Oh, yeah. Oh, no, outside." She said she was a Republican. So we were like, okay. She up until that point, she seemed totally normal. So we were like, okay, you're a Republican, whatever. Right? And I was like, can we hug to show the Dems and Republicans can talk? Because you seem totally sane. You think we're sane? She was like, yeah. So then walking back in, she's like, okay, I knew outside. She had said she's military, like daughter. She was grew up in a military family, and her husband's former military. So walking back in, she said, my husband's worried that he's going to lose his contract. He has some federal freaking contract, right? So sorry that DEI was veterans people. It was veterans people. So, yeah. I pitched to DC, Good Day, DC, Fox 5. Hey, I'm the author of Wellness on the Weekly, 52 Weeks of Mindfulness Movement and a Whole Lot Less Stress. I'm a mindfulness activist, yoga teacher, meditation guide, journaling, hangout host. That's a lot. You can't really say all that. So that's why mindfulness, if you're an author and mindfulness activist, hopefully people can get it, but that's a lot. Right? But you want people to know what you're doing and why. And so I said, so I looked up. So the first thing I did was I just Googled top morning shows in Washington, D.C. And it pretty much gave me the radio shows. And I was like, okay, save that list for later. Because radio could let you call in. You don't have to be physical to go in, because I know I'm leaving town soon. So if I'm going to go in to be on TV, this needs to happen fast. So I was like, save the radio, prioritize. So then I was like, okay, just do the local NBC, ABC, CBS. So what is that, channel 4, 5, 7? What am I missing? ABC, CBS. Yeah, NBC, ABC, CBS, and the local Fox channel. Fox made it really easy to send in the local Fox 5, made it really easy to email them. Like, it was like I just sent an email. I think NBC4, sorry, I'm not trying to do that. NBC4, what was that? Oh, you filled out a web form, and I got an automatic response that it would have been received. And then I don't think I could ever figure out how to do it for CBS. So I sent 2 out of 4. So CBS I couldn't figure out. So it was either NBC or CBS. You had a form that you filled out. Anyway, I only got the automatic thing and I couldn't figure out the other ones. So, good day, DC Fox 5 messaged me like right back, like the same day. You know what? It was like the same day because I remember seeing it the next day, being horrified, thinking, oh my gosh, how long has this been sitting in my email box if I don't answer right away, you know? And then I answered it, and it was the producer or whatever, and he was like, oh, this would be great. Can you give 5 tips for how to manage stress? Because people are really stressed out right now. And I was like, yeah. So he was like, so-and-so is going to email you, and then you're like copied with like 4 other people. So you're like, thank you, Jesus. Manifestation, meditation, you know, affirmations, all that's working, right? So then I respond, thank you for whatever. And you know what? Okay, I'm not doing what I learned in Lesson 101. I'm supposed to thank people as you come in, but I'm going to tell you, I don't know if I agree with that, because when you're constantly thanking everyone when you come in, you mess up your flow. So maybe I can do this. I appreciate absolutely every one of you all. You have got to know this. You're helping me grow and learn my life, and I hope I'm helping people. I'm a rape survivor. I'm an author. I'm a mindfulness activist. I'm in the military community, not active duty. Spouse, oh my gosh, I have talked for, I don't know if you heard that, 40 something minutes, but my sauna bag timer went off. Okay, I already told you I was going to boost it again. Okay, on the Yoga Save Me podcast, I have free practices, meditations, movement practices, and I also have conversations with other people who teach yoga, because yoga saved their lives. I came to yoga, as I said, because I went up a 4-story window because I didn't want to be raped for a 3rd time in my life. So my back is Fucked. And the chiropractor said, you know, you need yoga too. That happened to me in the suburbs of Paris. And by the time I got back to the States, I'm just so lucky that I could walk out of there. That's a story for another day. But those are the type of people, the yoga teachers that come on and tell me stories like that, because that inspires me. And it's a lot of times because they've been in bad relationships or abused somehow, or it's grief. Now, grief is how I came back to yoga in force in 2021, because we lost my 95-year-old dad, World War II veteran, and we'll talk about that too. So I help people with grief. I help people release the shame and anger of sexual assault. I'll be 63, Halloween. We got to figure out how we're going to celebrate that. I've been going to the Canaries the last couple. I'm not going back to that island that I was at, though. That's nothing wrong with it, but it's another episode. So I help people, women age better. So for women 50 over, I'm 62, born in 62, will be turning 63 in October. My Swede would like to remind me you're in your 63rd year. I never accept that, but I will accept it this year because my mommy died at 94 on December 28th, and she would have been 95 February 26th. So we could say she was in her 95th year. Daddy died May 28th, 2021. They were together 70 years. They met as music majors at Howard University in the 50s. Mommy from Chicago and Daddy from Charlotte. She was like that Southern man, always had an umbrella. The pictures, that was back when guys dressed for campus, like, and the women were clean, and we were beautiful and respectful, and we were community. Because when my mom came to Howard from Chicago, she was like, you couldn't sit in the movie theaters. They made you in the balcony. You couldn't stop at the you couldn't try clothes on at the department store. She was like, it was so segregated. She came from Chicago. She was appalled. My dad came from North Carolina. I don't know if he felt more liberated. We never talked about that. He was a World War II vet before he came to Howard. He was 4 years older than my mom. Both music majors, as I said. Can talk more about them. But I am going through, since December 28th, I have become an adult orphan. So I've got growing pains. I'm sure there are books about it, but I didn't read any of them. So I'm navigating that. So to the manifestation, so I manifested the book, made sure I got it in mommy's hands. The dedication is a love letter to her. Now, you know what? Okay, this is only my second live. I'm supposed to ask you to push hearts. I see people have been so nice in sending gifts. Share this to your friends, with your friends. Follow me, join my team, Tribe 2. I assume your tribe is the closest and nearest to you, whether they're blood related or that you handpicked. I've got a brother that became part of my family after we were housemates. After, what was this? This was, yeah, in between my first and second marriages. He's like a brother. Well, he is a brother, just not biological. So that's why I called this team Tribe 2, because we can be that second layer of family, because community is really important. Community has always been important, but community is really important in 2025. Blackness is under attack. Diversity is under attack. Being a woman is under attack. Having different ability is under attack. Being a veteran is under attack. Being a child is under attack. Being a senior. So we need community so we can stand firm and make sure that we know we're not going to be erased. Okay, so that was my day. So I did the thing at the TV station, and okay, so it's wild. So it's so wild, they prep you, they go, they get you in. My sister's with me there for support. We take the little picture, in the green room by the, they have a backdrop. People are nice in there. You see people come and go, and people are just nice. That whole thing. I'm going to make a video because I have different clips about that. But that was great. So you go on set, and then you come back, and I'm running into the green room, and then I'm still on air. Like, my sister and the guy that was in the green room are watching me. So it's a delay, and that was so cool. I could kind of... But it's so weird. I didn't even really watch myself. I was like, oh, I'm on. I can see, and I didn't. I remember looking at it, and I was like, okay, my short forehead is shiny and big. I remember thinking that, and then I didn't watch anymore. Now I'm dying to see a clip. I know my sister took pictures of the screen. I'll see it. So if you ever had that moment, maybe it's the first time you've heard yourself talk on a recording, or the sound of your voice, and you're like, ooh, do I sound like that? And I've seen myself on video before. It's my first live news segment that I was on camera. I have a sweet story when my mom was worked for the program in African American culture at the National Museum of American History, the predecessor to the National Museum of African American History and Culture. I call it our museum. One project was the Duke Ellington Youth Program, and she wrote the curriculum for teaching. Duke Ellington is the son of Washington, D.C., so she wrote a multidisciplinary curriculum for D.C. public schools from children from elementary to high school. My mom was brilliant. Is brilliant. Her legacy lives forever. And they got to interpret it. So it wasn't just for students at the Duke Ellington School of the Arts. It was for every elementary school and junior high school and high school. That was back when we had that system in Washington, D.C. Now it would be elementary, middle, and whatever, however they do it, middle and high. And you got to interpret the works of Duke Ellington as you see fit. So if you were an artist, you painted. Or if you were a poet, you wrote. You lyricized? Is that what it'd be called? Imagine what Amanda Gorman would have done in that program. If you were a dancer, you danced to his music, right? If you were a history major, then he was your topic of what you were doing. So my mom was, and I found out my mom was a pioneer in multicultural education. I found that out when I was working on her obituary. I'm still hoping, if anybody has any clout with the Washington Post, how much faith do we have in the Washington Post? But I still think my mom deserves her newsy obituary in the Washington Post. She was quoted in articles on her in the Washington Post several times over her illustrious career teaching at various D.C. public schools, and she also taught on the university level. Okay, give it up for your mom. It's International Women's Month. Give it up for your mom. So I manifested the book for mommy. I manifested being on this TV appearance. Okay, there's another thing I manifested. Okay, maybe it's more. And it happened this month. It was International Women's Day Summit. So it ran from the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, culminated on International Women's Day. It's called Shakti Rising. That's the divine feminine. You can see it on YouTube. Gosh, YouTube, the world's largest video library. It'll live there forever, hopefully. Gosh, okay, I'm just remembering, thinking I should make sure I have all of that off of the cloud in my vault. But Tess Jewel Larson, Candy Price, and Stephanie Heider came in, and we had two co-hosts for our panel. So we were 4 women, 6 women totally, 5 different countries. So Sweden, Spain, Germany, Dominica, and the United States. So It was all about female empowerment. So if you go to my, I'm always in home yoga, something, some numbers, 19 something. I guess easy enough to remember, but do I have to remember anything else? On my YouTube, or if you follow Tess Jewel Larson or Candy Price or Stephanie Heider. So 30-minute practices. We started off with Stephanie did a vinyasa flow. And then the next day it was Tess. She did she's a yoga therapist as well. She did a gentle, a therapeutic gentle yoga practice. Candy did a yoga nidra practice. And I did a journaling hangout. And that is followed immediately by our panel, the four of us together with the two co-hosts. So that was wonderful. So it's still International Women's Month. So check that out, Shakti Rising on YouTube. So I manifested that. So what I did, I was very intentional. Okay, I'll be honest, I was very disappointed with how the electorate voted in the most recent election for the U.S. I didn't think white women supported black women enough. Okay, I'm part of the 92%. I was part of that 44,000 that was on that call with Kamala July, was it June 21st, whenever it came out that she was going to run. When she got passed the baton with 3 months left in the race. She took it without dropping. Anyway, where was I going? See, that got me off. Oh, yeah, I was deliberate. I was like, okay, who am I going to have in my circle who I'm going to work with? Black women, too? But definitely white women, because I have made conscious decisions to leave boards of certain organizations because of the microaggression that you get. It's not necessary to give your talents, when you're on these boards, at least in these international women's organizations. They're volunteer and people are giving you fever and microaggression. You're like, okay, you're not going to do it. So I was like, I'm going to be intentional about the women I have in my circle. And then I'm going to handpick, but with, particularly keen interest to white women, I guess. Is that wrong to say? But I mean, because I guess I always highly scrutinize the sisters. Because my mom used to highly scrutinize me, right? So it's that from that point of love, because I'm always helping. Have the Black Women in Europe Network, that's been around since 2006. So 19 years, I guess. I started a power list for that. I'm all about supporting the sisters. And I've been president of, or vice president of different women's clubs overseas. So anyway, nobody wants to be microaggressed. So nobody wants to spend their time working on projects where people aren't as thrilled to be with you and that are just using you. Right? So I handpicked these women and I said, I put us in a group and I was like, okay, I think you all are wonderful. Let's do something. I don't know what we need to do. But, I'm grieving my mom. I'm going to be really intentional about how I work this year, how I come out, who I can help, how I show up. And so I said, let's do something. And we just talked. And then they were like, let's do a summit. I said, I hate summits. So I said, that's perfect. Because I hate summits. Let's create a summit that I would love, that I would like. And I'm proud to say I think that's exactly what we did. So Shakti Rising, Celebrating the Divine Feminine. It's for celebrating International Women's Month. It went live March 5th, ran through the 8th, but it's on YouTube, so it lives forever. So share it, watch it. I hope you benefit from it. And that, because I got something out of it. But so I manifested that. So we're kind of closing it because I'm walking the walk. So I'm showing how these things work. So I'm coming to you from my sauna bag because I'm all about self-care. So my sauna bag, I'm putting it back on the second timer. I don't know if you can see all the way down, but I've got a lot of room. I'm 5'6". I got a lot of room. My suite asked me, can 2 people fit in this bag? It's like, no, it's not a double size. Maybe they could, but that would probably be too hot and uncomfortable, but it's long enough for a tall person. Now, my version is 2 or 3 years old. I think the newer versions are even longer. You have the cotton insert. They sell that separately. It zips all the way down, so it completely opens up like a sandwich. Completely opens up, run peripheria. It's infrared. You have a timer. Goes up to 60 minutes. And the temperature goes up to 140, I believe. It beeps when it turns off. And okay, the other thing I manifested, okay, I guess that's within the year. I guess it happened 2024. I went to my first boule for my sorority. I pledged in 2020 because I wanted to become even closer to my mother. So I pledged her sorority, her legacy, and my sister had done it. So I wanted the three of us to become like as close as you would be if you know your mother and daughter and sister, you're in the same sorority. So we did that. And I went to the conference. Now that we were all three supposed to go together, but something happened and we couldn't. So I went and I gave a workshop, a wellness workshop. There was an application process and I got chosen to give a workshop. I'm great at workshops, remote teams. This was in person, right? I normally am, I'm 99% online. But like a big conference, fly me in, fly me in. No, that was great. And it's great to be in the room with people. And it was so weird because, it was, mindfulness, related to stress, man. And I was thrilled to see so many people, but then sad almost at the same time that so many people needed help. But I was like, I know people need help managing stress. So that's why we're doing it. So big self-care advocate. So my day was busy. So so I was up at 6. I'm not really a morning person, but I had to make sure I was early to get to the, I am a morning person, but not like up and out the door morning person. So I take that back. And yes, I caught myself. I have to be careful with my words. I am a morning person. I was up and out the door and at the TV station this morning, no problem, not even close to being late. So why am I even going to lie myself? So watch how you talk to yourself. I saw that. So watch how you talk to yourself, talk about yourself and others. I am a morning person. Point in fact, I was up early at 6 at the TV station, way early for my 8:30 check-in for my 9:15. And just here's a tip, Fox 5 does not do makeup. At least they did not do my makeup. So they don't do makeup for guest appearances like me. But there was another woman, her segment, I don't know. I'm going to look for it. She was the resident fashion expert. She was going to talk about luxe or not. So what's worth splurging on and what's not splurging on. And I remember when they came to get her to set up, she was like, am I coming back here? Do I have time? She wanted to know. She said, so I better put my lipstick on now. And she knew right where the bathroom was to go. So that's just a tip. Another tip. I should have tipped myself and used ink oil blotters. I have those that I never use. One of those things that I buy, I'm like, oh yeah, because I know my forehead, and then never use the one time I need it. So I manifested at this. Okay, so it's related. I manifested doing that workshop. That was a manifestation for me. Because that was, yeah. And then it was my first boule, and then I manifested that workshop. But then I saw this metallic bag, with the emblem of the metallic big shopping bag for my sorority. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want one. I had to leave the next day to land to do tag team so my sister could come and go for the next 2 days of the boule. And I was going to be with mommy, my pleasure, right? And the vendor room was closed. I was like, I don't have time to get it. So I'm chatting with the soror that's there, and I said, if you go to the thing, pick up the bag for me. She's like, okay, I will. And and I was like, give it to my sister because she's there, right? I was like, give it to my sister. So my sister comes home, and she has this bag, and I was like, oh, the soror give it to you. She's like, no, I just bought it home for you. Or so I have to ask her again how that happened. Or, you know what? My sister didn't say anything because I went back and I thanked the soror. I was like, oh, I got the bag. She was like, I didn't send you a bag. And I was like, wow. So I didn't even go back and ask my sister. I just got the chills, accepted it. So I manifested that bag. I manifested giving a workshop at that. What I could not manifest, what I could not pull together was me, my mother, and my sister all going together because that was the big plan. So I went. Carried my mom's torch. My sister went, and in between time, we got to spend time with mommy. So no loss. But so those are my manifestations. So okay, I hope that means I'm through. Am I through here? Or are we still live? We could still be live. Okay, we're still live. So I'm not through. Okay, good. Because I was like, what just happened? Oh, they're asking me to do a puzzle. Okay. Okay, I was asked to do some puzzle piece and verify. Ooh, you seen that short time how my heat level went up with my sauna bag? So that thing jumps. Let me see the temperature. Yeah, I was at 130. I'm at a hot 140. So the sauna bag works. I'll say good. I think it says my live will end in 4 minutes. So I'm hitting my target with the live. So, okay, so so before my segment, you're placed on the sofa. I was placed on the sofa next to the newscasters. And they're talking, and they said that the removal of the Black Lives Matter Plaza in Washington D.C., where it's painted on the floor on the 16th Street, right headed toward the White House. The work to remove that was going to begin today. So when I came off of my segment, I asked my sister, we gotta go down. I said, do you want to go down there so we can take a picture? And she was like, yeah, because I'm thinking they're going to asphalt and pave it over. We get down there, they're jackhammering it. And they said it's going to take someone we talked to, I think the WAMU reporter, look for online for WAMU. You may see me or my sister get interviewed. They said, okay, my hand's getting sweaty, that it'll take 6 to 8 weeks, and I can see why, because they're jackhammering. They are tearing up the street. They are tearing up Black Lives Matter. Now, that's symbolic, first of all, to have to take it off or lose funding. So everyone that has a voting representative in the House of Representatives and a voting senator, unlike the citizens of the District of Columbia, even though we pay federal taxes and D.C. taxes, please vote for D.C. statehood. Please talk to when you're going to, okay, you can go to 5calls.org and you can figure out how you can, they'll guide you how to reach your representatives, and because everyone's got an issue. First of all, ask them to stop messing with the veterans. Veterans are DEI. Tell them to stop messing with the veterans and stop messing with federal employees. These are people's jobs, lives, and careers. If you want to downsize, it's a proper way to do it. So stop messing with people's careers. 1 in 5 working people in the Washington, D.C. area is a federal worker, but they're not all there. They're around the world, and in every state you have federal workers. They're running your Social Security Administration, your benefits, the IRS. Please write to your representatives, call them and say, please do not get rid of the Department of Education, because we want the Department of Education to make sure that public education is available, accessible, and equitable for all of our children and our adult learners. So there are lots of reasons you can call your rep, but add on their DC statehood, because we didn't have our mayor, we were held ransom. It's like, get rid of Black Lives Plaza, or you won't get millions in federal funding. So then how would we administer our social profile benefits in our schools, DC public schools, and our programs for seniors and children and families if we don't get our federal budget? See, we don't have the autonomy because we're not a state. This sauna bag is working. Again, I recommend Hydrogun. No, and I don't have a sponsor. They're not sponsoring me, but I do have them. I have a little shop on my Wellness on the Weekly shop. If you go to Wellness on the Weekly, that's where you can get my book. Okay, yeah, I don't have my book by me. I had it on my tablet. Okay, so before I leave, so we went down to Black Lives Matter. I wanted to make sure I got my picture there. I thought it was going to be paved over. I expected to smell asphalt and see whatever that is, that big steamroller that you pave over, you make streets with. No, they are hammering it bit by bit. It's noisy, it's disruptive. It's looks violent. It's intentional. They're literally tearing up the streets of DC to get rid of Black Lives Plaza. So that's a whole nother, I can do a video about that because we have the pictures. Look for, WAMU, that's American University, so that's going to be a public radio. I'm an alum. That's where I got a Master in Public Communication. My sister and I talked to them. My sister and I talked to, the local CBS. Okay, so they didn't get back to me about giving wellness tips, but talked to the local CBS, talked to the Washington Informer. That might be it. But yeah, so if you're in the DC metro area, here's the thing, I had never gone there before. All the months and weeks that I have been coming back and forth caregiving, because you think it's going to be there forever. Like, it's a landmark now, like the Washington Monument. You know, we all witnessed Black Lives Matters protests around the world, right? I was in Sweden. I saw them, reports in from, there was one in Prague in the Czech Republic. London, Paris, the usual suspects, but Prague, the Czech Republic, over there supporting Black Lives Matter, right across the UK. So for DC, that was a symbol of hope and very sentimental. I'm very upset about that, very sad. So I did go down there to get mine. So that's what happened today. So I feel like I was a part of history. I witnessed them tear it up. I got my picture there. I experienced that with my sister, who had been with me. And then after that, I took her to lunch. We took each other to lunch. Celebrate all the wins. Celebrate I was on the morning TV. Celebrate we witnessed history, that we had our little protest movement, that we weren't happy about it, and we talked about it. We celebrated that. And then, okay, I'm getting in my lift to go home. She's going off because it's a gorgeous day today. And don't I realize before we go too far, I don't have my keys, because we started together. I thought we were going to go home together. I just didn't have my keys. That's me being little sister. So what do? I call her. I have this fantastic sister from Trinidad who grew up in the States, who's like, okay, let's just call your sister. We'll go to her. So she comes to my rescue, gives me her keys, and then her to-go bag. I don't know why I didn't take it in the first place. And then, so she saved me and came on. So that's my great day. So I was waiting for her to come home so I could let her in before I would get into my sauna bag and get on Netflix on my tablet to watch. I watched episodes 1 and 2 of Megan Sussex's whatever it's called, from Megan Love. I love it. Now, I have of course, okay, that's another thing I do. I'm not going to watch people hating on Megan, but I'm seeing the black women clap back and the white women who are clapping back, like, started papering up. So I was like, okay, you know what? That's right. Let me go ahead and watch this, right, while I can. And then then you're watching it. It's like it's already renewed for season 2. So I just downloaded it on my tablet. I can watch all 6. Or I don't know how many episodes in the season, but I watched 2 last night before I had to go to bed at like 1 a.m. because I had to get up at 6 to be at the TV station. So I can't wait. But it was everything I needed yesterday. I will be trying the 1-pot spaghetti. Boil the water in the kettle on the stove. That is going to be perfect. Everything with the tomatoes, garlic, and then she had pepper. And then fresh greens that she tore in at the end. She had different kinds of greens. That's totally, okay, so I'm going to do that. I love the cake. Now, in Sweden, I guess you can do it here. If you're short for time, I'm totally going to cheat with this for the next birthday or whatever. You can buy the layers of the cake, and what the Swedes will do is they'll put strawberries on them and whatever they're going to do anyway. So I can make my own preserves, right, and have the buttercream frosting and do in the inside like she did with the swirl. And the fresh fruit, I need to find out about edible flowers. I can dry them and sprinkle your like little fairy dust. And when you slice this, it's pretty. So I love like the little tips for how you can just do things, the shortcuts that you're going to do anyway. And see, me being an American Swedish in Sweden, a Swedish American, they don't necessarily ice an entire cake. They love a marzipan cover over a whole cake. They have a princess cake, princess torta. But like a whole thing with buttercream all around, that would be more different. So I can incorporate, the Swedish pre-made layers, just get them super fresh. And, then you can put the buttercream inside and with the jam, make the jam homemade. Do as much homemade as you can. You can make the frosting. So that's something that I would do. What else does she do? Oh, she made candles with her friend. Definitely something I would do. And they learned they hadn't done it before, so they just followed the instructions. Like when I was 22 and got married, and I always followed my mom and aunt and grandmother in the kitchen, but never had any real pressure to cook. So I was like, Mom, I'm going to cook. She was like, if you can read, you can cook. And that's so true. And she gave me the joy of cooking. That was back then. big classic cookbook, 1985, big classic cookbook, Joy of Cooking. And she's right. So, and then you learn, you get the feel for it, and you improvise, and then you get your mom's recipes. I have my mom's seafood casserole recipe, and you get your grandma's recipes written down in their handwriting, and you follow it. But baking, you cannot improvise. You need to follow it. Science. Cook it on top of the stove. You can fudge it. If something's going in the oven with flour, you better follow that recipe. So, what else did Megan do that I loved on her show, Mrs. Sussex? Don't want to be too familiar calling her Megan like I know her like that. She is on my Black Woman in Europe power list, though, when she was living in England, when she was living in the UK. I don't know if I had her number one, but she was the most powerful Black woman. She upset the royal family, right? That's power. So, I'm trying to think what else that she did, because I said I'm definitely going to do that one pot spaghetti, because it was vegetarian. She put Parmesan on it. So I can do it vegan if I don't want vegetarian. I can do it vegetarian if I want to do Parmesan. So that was brilliant. Oh, the frittata recipe she did. That was episode 2. That was great. Love a good frittata recipe. So what did she use? She used yellow bell pepper. She used zucchini. I don't know if she used onion. Of course, the egg. So she sauteed the vegetables in the pan, then poured the egg over. She put cream in her egg. She used like 8 to 12 eggs. And then she tore greens on top after it had been cooking a little bit and put it in the oven. She fried some bacon. And she put some cherry red tomatoes on the vine in the oven to burst. And that's what she was serving with mimosas. And the mimosas were being flavored with her homemade, she made a Bellini, so you need peach whatever. So she had peach whatever that she had made. But trust me, I make jam and homemade sodas and homemade ginger ale. So that's so fun and easy to make. And it was my Swede does it. Because in the summer, that's what you do in Sweden. You pick berries. So he loves to make it. So that's something that we can do together, or that he can do. And then I can be like, look, sweetie, I'm using your stuff to make the cake and blah, blah, blah. And for the kids, and she did a kids' tea party that you could theme for your girlfriends too. Super easy things like use shape cutters for your sandwiches. Fill them with whatever you think kids are going to eat. You can do that with your girlfriends. Totally cute for whatever, in a whimsical setting. And that's going to just go as far as your creativity. She did a balloon arch, and she showed you get a $20 balloon air pump, 4 balloons, because it sits on the table. I don't know if it worked for a bicycle. It might be multi-purpose. But she said it was about $20. And then she had, if you're making a balloon arch, there's some plastic guide that you can do. And I'm crafty. Another reason this was good for me, because now as an adult orphan, I'm free to return to some things that I gladly put on the back burner, like my crafts. I've got a hot glue gun. I had to pull it out when I was pledging for some things I had to make. I did make a quilt for one of these grandbabies my Swede had. I said each one gets one. I had the family fabric, so I had 1 down and 4 to go now. There was another grand that came in. But I was able to do that because so I can go back to that. So I want to make the candles for sure. And I want to, I don't see a need for a balloon arch in my life anytime soon, but I've got the guidance now if I need it. So that's my self-care. I wanted to show you that walking the walk. So not just talking the talk. Oh, before I went on air, I was nervous and excited. So I did a breathing exercise and shared that with people. I was able to say, remember, I'm in the green room, look around, be sure to tune in with me, and you can see I'm amped. Let's do a breathing exercise. So I'm trying to walk the walk because it's called yoga practice and a mindful practice for a reason. We're humans, so we're not going to be perfect. So it's a practice, something that you do daily because consistency pays. Okay, so before I sign off, mourning my mom right before things I had when my dad died, 2021, age 95. You know, I had been a long distance caregiver. Stressful, spent a lot of time away from my family in Sweden, so I had a lot of stress with that. And then just an incredible amount of unforeseen grief for my dad. I knew I was going to be sad, but I didn't know I was going to be pulling my hair out. And then my blood pressure would be stroke level. And that for the next 2 years after that, I would be fighting to get my blood pressure down. I didn't know that was going to happen. My sleep was disrupted, and I would say it's 4 things. I would say because I eat, but I guess my eating pattern is disrupted, I should say. So this time with my mom and 3 years of a voracious mindfulness practice, I've only had to 2 things, like my sleep disrupted and my eating. So one thing I'm working on is mindful eating. So I'm thrilled. I know my mindfulness practice because I am certified deep end. If I was deep in grief, off the chart with my dad, it's beyond that for my mom. But it's just because I have this 3 years strong, voracious mindfulness practice that I'm not off the deep end. But it doesn't mean that I don't cry every day, that I don't walk around our house, looking for her, talking to her. I'm still waiting for my Lazarus moment, even though we have her cremains in the house and that we're planning her service for the fall. So I'm still in that stage. So it's not like I don't mourn immensely, but I also know, right, that gift, Daddy gave me the gift of being a yoga teacher after he died. That's when I got my yoga teacher training. I was thrown into it. I threw myself into it to survive. Now, Mama made me an author before she died, because then I had that mission of getting this book in her hands. Wellness on the Weekly, 52 Fun Prompts for Mindfulness Movement and a Whole Lot Less Stress. I had to get that in Mommy's hands. Got it in her hands November. Okay, yeah. I was home November 6th for election night results. Put it in her hands a couple days after that, and she died at the end of December. So now I'm on a mission for 1 million people to read the book, so 1 million people can read my love letter to my mom, that dedication. And that out of the 52 weeks of suggestions for mindfulness practices, that something will resonate with you, and that it'll help you build your strong mindfulness practice. Because a strong mindfulness practice, resilience, mindfulness practice is something that you're going to need at some point. I needed it when Mommy died. I need it now. I am gutted on the inside, but I didn't pull my hair out. I have hair. I pulled my hair out completely. Now look, you can see where I still got some edge stuff that needs to come in, but I'm telling you, I'm going to make a post and video and show you. I am not exaggerating. All this was like Bozo the Clown gone. I never had thick, full hair. I've always had fine hair as far as that's concerned. So it was never like but I mean, I had like no hair because I was pulling it out and I could see myself pulling it out. And I'm like, I'm pulling my hair out and I can't. So I don't have that level of, I'm managing it. Let's say I have the emotions and the feelings that would produce it if I didn't have the mindfulness tools to manage it. So that's where I am. That's where my level is. So thank you for helping me and going through this live with me. It's my second live, and I wanted to share my amazing day with you and share how, you celebrate your wins, let you know how I celebrated my win and how I shared it. Share your wins with your community, with my sister, how I went down to Black Lives Matter Plaza to make sure I got my picture there and to witness that. So be in that community as well. And then to come home, I made sure I ate with my sister. That was a celebration, and we ate mindfully, right? We ate till we were full. We brought the rest of our food home. And then I came home, and after she rescued me and gave me her keys, I waited to make sure she was in. And then I came immediately to my sauna bag so that I can decompress and reminisce and savor these wins. And I'm going to get into the Mrs. Sussex show. And I hope you'll consider joining team tribe too. Let me know what you want to, if the next time if we should do a mindfulness practice. I'm happy to do that. Or what you would like to do. And if it is a mindfulness practice, what type of mindfulness practice you would like. You can go to bit.ly/ capital letters AHY lowercase gifts to get the first 9 pages of my, I think it's 29 page mindfulness eating tracker and journal. So we can start our mindfulness eating journey together. Now, my thing, one of the things because I'm in grief, I have to make sure that I'm eating regularly. I'm pretty good about my food choices anyway, but I need to make sure that I'm eating regularly. Generally, I eat when I'm hungry. But because I'm not sleeping regularly, that's throwing me off my game. I'm not always sensing when I'm hungry, right? Because when one thing goes off, something else can go off. So I learned to eat when I was hungry when I was a skinny teen and went to the doctor. And the doctor was like, you're healthy, did all the checks. He was like, eat when you're hungry. And I didn't realize then what he meant. But now I know some people eat when they're stressed, when they're sad, when they're depressed. Just mindless eating in front of the TV, eat when they're anxious. So I always eat when I'm hungry, even if that might mean I'm eating 6 times a day. I'm not always eating this same amount, but the fact is that I reckon if I acknowledge my hunger, if I get a hunger pain, I acknowledge it. So I'm not always getting those if I'm not getting my proper rest. So, and the second thing is that on any given day, when I do eat, I eat too fast. So I have to eat more mindfully. Even if I made the great food choice, I've cooked it with love and thought about it, I sit down and I eat too fast. And too fast means, I don't know how people don't eat at the speed though, because if I'm eating a hot plate, I want the food to be hot, at the last bite to be hot. So I have to work on that. That's not something that I have to tell myself, okay, that's not a requirement, that could be negotiable. If I'm going to eat slower, that last bite's not going to be as hot as the last. So I'm working on mindful eating. So the my mindful eating tracker and journal. The first 9 pages is a gift to you from me. You can get it at bit.ly/ capital AHY. That's for Always Home Yoga. Lowercase gifts. And you can get that. And then Yoga Saved Me podcast. Free. It's a free podcast. In 2025, I realized maybe I could have done this in 2024, but in 2025, I realized that you can do video podcasts. I think you could do it in 2024. I just didn't. So I'm uploading videos so you can see the practices, the podcasts, you can listen to them. Great for the Yoga Nidra, because there's nothing you're going to see in a Yoga Nidra. I'm not going to sit there and read a meditation and you're just looking at me, right? Especially if it's one that you're going to use for rest. So it's great for a podcast. Same thing, I've got some gentle yoga practices there and some other things. And then conversations with other people who found that yoga literally saved them, right? So what other resources? wellnessontheweekly.com. That's how you can find out about the book in my little shop and pick up stuff that I love, that I use for my wellness, my self-care, my wellness. And adrianlynn.com is the author website. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. We've got a group for the book on Facebook, so if you're on Facebook. So take care of you, my lovelies. We're not going to do a practice here because I feel like I gave you a lot of bang for your buck here. Thank you for your time, your gifts, your grace. Gosh, I'm not crying anymore. You calm me down. Thank you for helping me learn like what happens when you push stuff and when you don't. I love and welcome each and one of you in here. I really want you well. I'm on this mission to help everybody be well. That's my contribution to society. I used to work in the modeling industry. I was an agency director. I worked at a nonprofit. They were doing wildlife conservation. I worked in public affairs for one of the big 3 auto companies. I worked in the music business for an independent reggae label, the biggest and the first and the best. I worked for another one. It's not just reggae, but an independent label. Had the whole East Coast for my territory. Not the whole East Coast. From Philly to Richmond. I do not need to exaggerate. I did not have the whole East Coast. From Philly to Richmond. I worked in that industry. I worked in London in the music business. I live in Sweden, and now I am a yoga teacher, meditation guide, journaling hangout host, straight up mindfulness activist, author of Wellness on the Weekly, 52 Fun Prompts for Mindfulness Movement and a whole lot less stress. I've got my mindful eating tracker and journal. I also have a medical journal that I put together, one that I wish I had put together for me and my sister when we were working with helping mommy and daddy manage their care. But you can use it for personal use, families, or if you're a caregiver. And since it's digital, you can print out as many pages as you want. I hole punch mine and put mine into a binder that's expanding, because if I can let my sweet, I don't know if he knows, I'm going to start managing our care. So the older we get, so I know what's going on and just be on top of stuff, right? So be well. I'm going to put my glasses on. I do have to do that. Okay, let's see how long I've been in the sauna bag, because I don't want to, because I'm going to have to hydrate. Very, very important. So I did the first round. We did 42 minutes. Okay, I've got 13 minutes left. So I'm going to make sure I hydrate after this. And if anybody, Tribe 2, welcome for members. Anybody want to give a daily hi? While you're here, I've got 13 more minutes. So if you write anything, I hope I can see it, because if there's any type of mindfulness practice that you want us to do next time for a live, so by that I mean a breathing exercise we can do together, tapping exercise, we can do a journaling exercise, we can do a mindful movement exercise. There are lots of things that we can do together. Did I say meditation? That's an option. So if you have any opinion about that, let me know. You can also follow me, let me know on Always Home Yoga or on Facebook or whatever, because I want to make sure that I'm doing, I don't know if I already told you that, but just everything I do for selfish reasons. And by that I mean, I do it because I need it to help me. And then once it helps me, I help other people with it. So it's in everything that I've learned in my mindful resilience training with Veterans Yoga Project. That's how I share in all of my classes, whether it's a group class, whether it's a workshop, whether it's a remote team, or whether I'm working one-on-one with a private client. Everything I do is trauma-informed, mindful resilience, because the first class I ever taught was on March 8th, 2023, International Women's Day, and it was with Veterans Yoga Project. And you cannot teach a class with Veterans Yoga Project if you're not a member of the Veterans Yoga Project Teachers Alliance. And to become a member of that, you have to be trained in their mindful resilience training. They have a scientifically proved training for people with PTS, because veterans, military family, community, first responders, that's who we're dedicated to serving. So they in the military family, first responder family, because you carry that stress and worry too. So these classes are always free online or in person. And let me tell you this, Veterans Yoga Project, volunteer led. Teachers, we used to get paid when it was my first paying job, my first ever job. They paid us a modest hourly rate. I'm trying to think, because what would I have got paid for my 20-minute meditation class? I can't remember. But a modest hourly rate, because they were like, we believe our teachers should be paid. And the way that they were able to pay us and to run the back end of the system, they use Wellness Living System. They've got a website, right? They run the training to certify teachers. It's by donations. It's 100% donation driven. So I've run fundraisers for them. So I say that, so if you know anyone that wants to support the veteran community, they can donate to veteransyogaproject.org. Just go to their website and find out. but it's 100% driven. So they haven't been able to. So they to keep the mission going. Teachers aren't getting paid anymore. So we were told, we're running out of funding. We're going to have funding through this time. The funding we have for different projects in person and online was different. And so people were given expectations and told, because some people taught online, some taught in person, some did both, to expect. And do you want to stay or you want to go? So of course I'm like, I'm going to stay. I'm going to teach for free. This is part of my service. I got so much from Veterans Yoga Project, and I feel so grateful that I was in a position to do that. Right? So I still teach Wednesdays. It's from 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 20-minute guided meditation, and on Fridays, 9 a.m. Eastern, 1 hour breathwork and gentle yoga class. So if you're inclined to donate to Veterans Yoga Project, you can help the back end going. We've got grant program managers that are looking for grants. I always say, if anybody can put us in touch with Tom Hanks, he loves the military. He's a big supporter of the military. Anyone like that has philanthropical values, and even the person that can give $5, because they give scholarships. I received a 25%, I think, scholarship, or a partial scholarship. I don't know what percentage, but I received a partial scholarship for my mindful resilience training to join the Veterans Yoga Project Teachers Alliance, so that I can teach, because I'm the daughter of a veteran and the spouse of a veteran. So anything that you can give supports that mission. That's my pitch. So I give it for free. I want it to be accessible, right? It's important that yoga is accessible. But I also work one-on-one with private clients because it is my business. It's important that yoga teachers get paid. I'm providing a valuable service. 90-day programs for transformations based on what your goals are, trauma-informed, curated just for you based on my experience, for grief, loss, stress, recovering from sexual assault, and aging. So that's it about me. What is it about you? Let me know. Join Tribe 2. I'm glad you're here, and I'll see you next time. Let me know what we should do next time, what kind of practice we should do next time. And we'll have another live from the sauna bag. I just dropped that, but we can have another live from the sauna bag. Okay, I do have to figure out how to turn off a live, though. So good. This is part of my learning process. So this is awesome sauce. Okay, this is awesome sauce. So let me go back here. You know what? I can invite as a guest. So I'm going to see if I can invite... Oh, it's Renee Lucas. I can see if I can invite Renee. Oh, fantastic. What a great learning experience. Renee Lucas, Renee Tranquil. I'm trying to send you... It says invitation sent. Okay. I think up at the top. So let's see how that works. Okay, so now this is a completely different experience for me now that I have my glasses on. So I can see. Okay, so let's see what's going on. Hi there. Hi there. I don't know. I'm supposed to push things and then see what happens. Okay. So yeah, I can push things and see what happens. Thank you for joining. This was my live today to celebrate my day because something happened to me that I celebrated. So I'm joining live from my sauna bag. So this is great. We can see that this is working. So I have a hydro gun sauna bag. Let me see if I can do the scan again. I totally recommend it. So you have this cotton insert and then you go in. Now I don't have my arms and the hands in there because you're advised to take off any metal. And I have not tried it yet where I've taken off my jewelry because I get plenty warm as it is. And it zips around the perimeter all the way around. It's infrared. And I love it. It's great for my back because I have chronic pain in my lower back. It's how I came to yoga in the first place. So this is great for my back. Absolutely great for my back. So I told you about my day. Yeah, I was on morning news. I manifested that, and I told you how I made that happen. I just simply sent an email to all of the 4 local morning news stations. If you try it, please try it and tell me how it works for you. You know, I said I'm the author of Wellness on the Weekly, 52 Fun Prompts for Mindfulness Movement and a Whole Lot Less Stress. And, you know, we're here in D.C. 1 out of 5 workers in D.C. is a federal employee. So with the cuts, you know, people were stressed. It happened to my cousin and to friends of friends, you know, family of family, church members, things like that, neighbors. You know, you see what's happening in the neighborhood chat list. You know, it's going on. It's happening. And if it's not happening directly to you, maybe you're worried about what the dismantling of DEI or, you know, what the cuts at the VA mean or at the IRS. When you hear these stories, you get upset because that's, you know. So mindfulness tips and stressful tips are always good to know. So I pitched that to I was going to pitch it to the 4 stations. So out of the 4, 2, I could find how to do it. 1 was a form. I got an automatic response. The other was an email. I got a quick personal response with other people copied that said, great, we want you to do this. Somebody will be in touch. They were. It worked out. They said maybe a Monday. I was like, great, I'm going to leave after this date. So it was great. So that's my manifestation. So now I can say, as seen on Good Day DC. Fox 5, Good Day DC. So I can say as seen on. So I did that. So that's great. So then after that, okay, so as I'm seated on the sofa, right, listening to the broadcast, looking at the teleprompter, and, you know, they say that the work to remove Black Lives Matter plaza is going to start today. So then I run back to the green room. We go down, talk. And I told my sister, I was like, you know, we need to go down there before it's over. Because I'm thinking they're just going to pave it over, asphalt. No, we get down there, they're jackhammering it. So we get our pictures. We talk on TV because people are like, the news, like, what do you think? I don't know if we can be heard because they're did I say they're jackhammering Black Lives Matter Plaza? It wasn't just a paint over. It's cobblestones and stuff down there. They're jackhammering it. So we were down there. It was a glorious sunny day, though. I'll do a video about that because I got glorious sunny day videos. And then I took my sister to celebrate. I was on TV. And then we were like down there in a little bit of protest talking about why we were unhappy. Right, and here's a lesson. I was sad. I wanted to take my sister to breakfast so we'd be early for the TV thing. And that didn't work out. I went down. She was already cooking her breakfast, so I was a little salty. But it's okay. I came up, got myself together, meditated, breathed. And then it was like we had a glorious lunch after. But I wanted that sister time, and she's such a support. She was with me. So then I did that. And then I was coming home, and I realized I didn't have my keys. I never had my keys. So I have to call her from the car, and then we go meet her, and she gives me the keys, and I come home with her to-go bag. I don't know why I didn't have it anyway. I was in the car. She was going to go out. And then I wait for her, and I say, I want to get in my sauna bag so I can decompress because this was a stressful, glorious day for me. I was up until 1 a.m. I was up until 1 a.m. this morning because I watched 2 episodes of the Marco. There's the thing. I did 2 sessions of my sauna bag. I think I did 90 minutes in my sauna bag. So I'm not going to go for a third. I'm going to hydrate. But I'm going to stay in the warmth. So I was going through TikTok because I'm trying to learn TikTok because I want to reach as many people as I can to help them with manage stress. With the mindfulness practices I have, my name is Adrienne with Always Home Yoga and the Yoga Save Me podcast. I'm a mindfulness activist and the author of Wellness on the Weekly, 52 Fun Prompts for Mindfulness Movement and a Whole Lot Less Stress, with the goal of 1 million people reading my book. 2 reasons. The first one, because the dedication is to my mom. It's a love letter to my mom. And we lost her on December 8th of 2024. So I manifested that. I was able to get that in her hands in November. And then the second reason, because it has 52 different ways that you can, try to manage stress, be mindful, take it down a notch, love on yourself, have self-care, have me time, just tune out. And definitely now when things are so stressful. So I want a million people to read that love letter and to also love on themselves a little bit more and have tips on how to take care and do that. So that's what this live was like. Okay, TikTok wants you to do lives and be engaged, and I want to be engaged because how else are people going to see it? So thank you for being engaged. Now, I tried to invite someone who has been a podcast guest on my Black Women in Europe podcast and my Yoga Save Me podcast, but I didn't know if I could get her to join. I don't know how to do that. So I did not want to spend a lot of time trying to get people on and not talking, and because then you don't have any flow. So I'm learning a lot. Don't know what I'm doing right or what I'm doing wrong, but I'm so glad you're here. Let me know if the next time we do a live, if it's from my sauna bag, we can do a breathing practice or meditation. If you want a movement practice, it won't be from my sauna bag, but we can do some wellness practice. If you'd want another story of when I manifested something, because today was when I manifested. It came through what I meant. It's not a manifestation until it happens. So you do all the work and it's like, it's going to happen, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And then it happened. So I manifested my appearance at 9:15 a.m. this morning, Monday, whatever it is, March 10th. Fox 5, Good Day DC, tips for managing stress. I'm going to try to find the clip and then share it here. So thank you, and I will see you after I make sure I know what I'm doing, because I've dropped this. I've tried to turn it off before. Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to. Okay, I shared a live from someone, Dr. Karen. She's giving tips on TikTok Live, because I'm learning. So one thing, you're supposed to ask people to share it. You're supposed to ask people to tap in the middle and generate hearts. I'm supposed to ask people if they want to give you a daily heart. I think that costs a coin. Ask people to join my team. I set up a team. And I think ask people to tap on my picture in the top left. If you have any other tips from your experience with lives, let me know. And thanks. This has been great. I've been through 2 cycles on the sauna bag, so I feel like we're definitely connected now. You've seen me sweat. I broke a cardinal rule.